There's something quietly heartbreaking about the way we talk about aging. You turn 60, and suddenly the advice gets louder. More protein shakes, more supplements, more gym time. Yet, for many, none of it feels right. The powders taste chalky. The routines feel foreign. And somehow, the mirror still shows a body slowly losing its strength, the subtle slouch, the thinning arms, the fading grip. But here's the truth. Your body isn't failing you. It's adapting, waiting for the right signal to rebuild. And that signal doesn't come from the latest protein blend. It comes from real food, the kind that carries life within it. In Okinawa, men and women in their 90s still lift groceries, climb stairs, and walk tall. Their secret? Not a powder, but a plate rich in soy, fermented foods, omega-3s, and vegetables grown in real soil. Food that tells the body, you are still alive. Keep building. Welcome to the Longevity Path. I'm John, and today we're joined by the extraordinary Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, physician, teacher, and lifelong student of health. Dr. Hinohara, thank you for joining us.
John, it's my joy. You see, people think muscle loss after 60 is inevitable, but it's not. Sarcopenia is not age, it's disuse and imbalance. The body listens to what we feed it. Real nourishment, like miso, tofu, small fish, and greens, carries enzymes and amino acids your cells understand. They rebuild tissue the same way nature does, patiently, layer by layer, but more than food, it's rhythm. Eat slowly, chew deeply, and walk after meals. In Japan, elders don't count protein. They live it, through connection, movement, and gratitude at the table. That's what activates regeneration. We must stop chasing numbers on labels and start listening to the quiet wisdom of our own bodies. Muscles remember, they respond to care, not urgency.
That's beautiful, Doctor. So it's not about quantity, but quality, and how we live while we eat.
Exactly. Health is not a formula, it's a conversation between you and your body. Feed it real food, give it movement, and it will keep its strength far longer than science once believed.
Dr. Hinohara, you mentioned that true muscle renewal doesn't come from powders, but from real food. Many people listening have spent years drinking protein shakes, following every new supplement trend, yet still feel weaker over time. Why do you think these artificial solutions fail to bring real strength back? And what makes natural food so different?
John, when we eat, we're not just feeding the body, we're speaking to it. Every meal is a message, and the body listens carefully. When we give it powders, isolates, or processed mixtures, it receives only fragments of the message, incomplete, mechanical. But when we eat real food, especially food grown in the soil, caught in the sea, or fermented with life, we give the body a full sentence, rich with meaning. Real food carries not only amino acids and vitamins, but enzymes, fibers, and natural compounds that work together, guiding how the body absorbs and rebuilds. The problem with most protein powders is that they isolate one nutrient and remove its natural companions. It's like taking the melody out of a song. The notes are still there, but the harmony is gone. The body evolved to digest and use nutrients as part of a living system. A piece of tofu, for example, contains protein, but it also has phytoestrogens, minerals, and enzymes that help regulate how that protein is used. The same goes for small fish, beans, seaweed. They come with instructions, balance, and rhythm. When you replace them with powders, the body becomes confused. It receives excess without guidance. In Okinawa, I have seen people in their 90s who can still carry heavy baskets of vegetables, not because they drank shakes, but because their meals were alive. Miso soup, natto, sea vegetables, brown rice, and seasonal greens. They eat slowly, chew deeply, and let digestion become a form of meditation. The body thrives in that rhythm. It's not just about nutrients entering the bloodstream. It's about the nervous system relaxing, the microbiome flourishing, the muscles receiving signals of safety and abundance. When you eat real food, you also activate gratitude. You feel texture, taste, smell. All of these awaken the senses and tell the body, I am nourished. And that state of presence improves metabolism more than any powder could. Real strength, especially after 60, is built on presence, not speed. It's built on meals that connect you to nature, not isolate you from it. You don't have to give up all modern approaches, but remember, the human body is ancient. It trusts what it has known for thousands of years: the warmth of cooked food, the aroma of fermented dishes, the balance of plant and sea. When we return to that simplicity, muscles rebuild not as a project, but as a natural expression of harmony between the earth, the food, and our own living cells.
Dr. Hinohara, many people over 60 believe muscle loss is just part of aging, that it's something no one can escape. You said earlier that sarcopenia isn't truly about age, but about disuse and imbalance. Can you help us understand what that means? How can someone at 70 or even 80 begin to rebuild what they've lost?
John, the biggest misunderstanding about aging is that we think it's a slow decline, a one-way road toward weakness. But the truth is, the body is much more adaptable and intelligent than we give it credit for. Sarcopenia, or muscle loss, is not destiny. It's simply the body's response to inactivity, poor nourishment, and lack of rhythm. When muscles are not used or properly fueled, they begin to shut down their energy factories. The mitochondria grow quiet, the nerves stop firing with excitement, and the tissue slowly thins. But when you begin to move again, even gently, the body listens. It remembers its purpose. Every step, every stretch, every moment of effort tells the muscle fibers, you are needed, and when something is needed, the body rebuilds it. In Japan, we have a saying, the body ages from the feet. When the legs stop moving, the rest of life slows down. That's why elders in villages walk daily, to the market, to the garden, to visit a friend. They don't call it exercise. They call it living. It keeps circulation alive, joints flexible, and muscles engaged in purpose. Pair that with food that carries energy from the earth, soy, fish, fermented vegetables, grains, and you create the perfect conditions for regeneration. It's not about forcing the body to build muscle, but inviting it to remember how. I once met a man in Kyoto who began strength training at 72. Nothing extreme. He lifted buckets of water for his garden, carried groceries by hand, climbed stairs instead of taking the elevator. After 1 year, his posture improved, his steps became lighter, and his sleep deeper. He told me, "Doctor, I feel young again, but not because I look it, because I am useful again." That word, useful, is powerful. Muscles respond to meaning. They are not just tissue. They are instruments of purpose. Sarcopenia thrives where there is stillness and disconnection, from movement, from nature, from daily life. To reverse it, we must reconnect. Stand barefoot in your garden. Lift light things every day. Breathe with awareness. Eat foods that come from real soil, not a packet. These small acts remind the body that life continues. The muscles awaken, circulation improves, appetite returns, and the spirit lifts. Age does not destroy strength. Neglect does. And when you replace neglect with care, when you give your body purpose, nourishment, and movement, it rebuilds itself naturally, quietly, and beautifully, no matter how many years have passed.
Dr. Hinohara, I love what you said earlier, that health isn't about counting grams of protein, but about quality and rhythm. Many people are so focused on numbers, calories, protein intake, supplements, that eating has become almost mechanical. Can you explain what you mean by rhythm and how slowing down or eating differently can actually help the body rebuild muscle and strength, especially after 60?
John, somewhere along the way, we lost the music of eating. We started treating food like a calculation, grams, macros, schedules, and forgot that meals used to have rhythm, like a heartbeat that connected families, generations, and the body itself. When you eat too fast or treat food as fuel alone, the body feels rushed. Digestion becomes shallow, the hormones that signal fullness don't activate properly, and the body never truly receives the nourishment you think you're giving it. Rhythm begins with awareness, sitting down, breathing before you eat, letting the body prepare for nourishment. In Japan, we say itadakimasu before a meal. It means, I humbly receive. Those few seconds slow the mind and activate gratitude, which also prepares the digestive system. When you eat slowly, you chew more, which releases enzymes in the mouth and signals the stomach to awaken gently. This natural rhythm allows nutrients to be absorbed more efficiently. It's not the amount of protein that matters, it's how well your body can use it. And when the body is calm, digestion improves, blood sugar stabilizes, and muscle regeneration becomes more efficient. I remember visiting a centenarian woman in Okinawa who still cooked her meals daily. She ate small portions of tofu, vegetables, and miso soup. But what struck me most wasn't the food itself. It was her pace. She took her time, ate in silence, smiled often. When I asked her secret, she said, "Doctor, I give my food time to love me back." It sounds poetic, but scientifically she was right. When you eat in rhythm, you regulate cortisol, insulin, and growth hormones, all of which play vital roles in maintaining muscle and preventing sarcopenia. Walking after meals is another part of that rhythm. In traditional Japanese culture, elders stroll for 10 minutes after eating. It's simple, but it improves circulation, stabilizes blood sugar, and signals to the muscles that energy is needed. This gentle demand encourages the body to preserve and build strength naturally. Contrast that with eating quickly and sitting still afterward. The body stores instead of builds, slows instead of strengthens. Health isn't in the numbers on the label, it's in the harmony of your habits. When you chew slowly, taste deeply, and move lightly after a meal, you remind your body that it's part of the cycle of life, not a machine to be managed. That rhythm, that sense of presence is what nourishes the muscles, the heart, and the soul long after the meal is over.
Dr. Hinohara, you often say that health is a conversation between us and our body, not something we control. For many older adults, that's a new idea. They've spent years trying to follow strict diets, rigid exercise plans, or medical routines. What does it really mean to listen to the body? And how does that help us stay strong and youthful, even in later years?
John, the greatest mistake we make is treating the body like a stubborn child that must be disciplined, instead of a lifelong companion that's trying to speak to us. Every ache, every change in appetite, every restless night, these are messages, not malfunctions. The body is constantly whispering, "I need rest," or "I need movement," or sometimes, "I need peace." But we've grown used to ignoring it, replacing intuition with instruction, and then wondering why health feels like a battle we keep losing. When you begin to listen, everything changes. You notice how certain foods make you feel light and alive, while others leave you tired or bloated. You realize that fatigue after meals isn't age. It's your body asking for simplicity. You sense that a morning walk feels better than a late-night workout, that laughter with friends strengthens you more than hours at the gym. This awareness transforms health from effort into relationship. It's no longer about control. It's about respect. In my younger years as a physician, I used to prescribe more medicine, more structure, more plans. But as I aged, I began to see that longevity came not from control but from harmony. The elders who lived the longest were those who worked with their bodies, not against them. They didn't chase perfect health, they cultivated balance. One man I knew, a farmer in his 90s, told me, "Doctor, I rest when the wind rests, I move when the sun rises." He had no watch, no schedule, but his body was strong, his muscles firm. That was his secret. He lived in rhythm with life itself. Listening to your body also means letting go of guilt. If you are tired, rest. If you are hungry, eat. If you are full, stop. Simple but profound. When you ignore these signals for years, the body begins to shut down communication, and that's when illness, weakness, and imbalance set in. But when you begin again, even in your 60s or 70s, and you show your body that you are listening, it begins to trust you again. Muscles respond faster, sleep deepens, digestion improves, mood lifts. This is not a miracle. It's biology responding to harmony. Health is not something you build once and keep. It's a daily conversation, and if you treat your body with gentleness, curiosity, and gratitude, it will answer not with words but with energy, balance, and strength that stays with you far longer than youth ever could.
You know, listening to you, Doctor, I'm reminded that maybe aging isn't a process of losing. It's a process of remembering what the body already knows: real food, slow rhythm, gentle movement, listening inward instead of chasing outward. It feels like so much of modern health is about adding more supplements, more effort, more noise. But what you're saying is that real strength comes from subtraction, from quiet, from returning to balance.
Yes, John. When you stop fighting your body, it begins to heal. When you eat with gratitude, the body digests peace as much as nutrients. When you walk with intention, the muscles don't just grow stronger, they remember joy. Health is not a performance. It is a friendship. The older you grow, the more precious that friendship becomes. People often ask me, "Doctor, how do I live a long life? And I tell them, don't aim for length, aim for depth. Live each meal, each morning, each conversation with full awareness. Longevity is not measured in years, but in the warmth of the moments you truly experience. Her quiet breakfast with someone you love, a walk under morning light, a simple act of kindness, these feed the heart more than any medicine. The body responds to how we treat life itself. If you hurry through your days, your cells learn to rush. If you move gently and breathe fully, they begin to calm. That calm becomes strength. That strength becomes health. And that health becomes gratitude, the kind that stays even when the years pile high. Aging gracefully is not about resisting time, it's about flowing with it, like a river that never forgets where it came from. Eat the foods that remember the earth, move as if your body were thanking you, and rest as though the world will wait, because it will. You have time to be kind to yourself.
That's beautiful, Doctor. A reminder that true vitality isn't found in what we chase, but in what we honor, our bodies, our breath, our lives.
Exactly, John. And if there's one message I hope your listeners remember, it's this. Your body is not aging away from life. It's aging toward wisdom. Listen to it, and it will carry you gracefully through every season.
Thank you, Doctor. And to everyone listening, take a moment today to breathe, to move, to eat with intention. If this conversation brought you peace or perspective, subscribe to join us again. The path to longevity isn't distant. It begins right where you are.